So you have a DSLR camera and don't know how to use it? Well, today is your lucky day with our DSLR Quick Start guide. Before we get started, I want you to go and watch my exposure triangle video because that is going to go over the basic understanding of what all the settings of manual mode mean. And now that you've done that, let's dive into getting you started on this camera. You're going to be taking pictures. Now, I understand what might be giving you hesitation. There are a lot of buttons in settings on these cameras, and it can be very intimidating, but don't worry. I'm going to break it down for you and hopefully help you. But there is one small hang up, which is that every camera is created differently, okay? The buttons and how you access the various settings are different, so be sure to grab your manual or Google it. Oh, and by the way, if you're planning to shoot in auto mode, this is not the video for you. The whole point of this video is that you can kiss auto mode goodbye, okay? Okay, great. Moving on. First thing you want to do is adjust your shooting mode. So you want to switch it from probably auto to manual mode. It sounds scary, but don't be afraid, it's going to be fine. Now this is where you might need to consult your manual. On my camera, there is a dial on top and you turn it to the capital M, but on Nikon, Sony, or other brands, I don't know what that would be, so check your manual out to see what you need to do. The second thing I want you to do is adjust your shutter speed. So I have home-based settings, and with shutter speed, I like to get it to 1/200, or on your camera, it might just say 200. That's probably what it says. So put your shutter speed to 200. You don't want to go lower than 200 because in my experience, camera shake, which is anytime you move your camera a little bit or bump it by accident or literally breathe too hard, can cause a little bit of motion blur. So let's keep it at 200 or higher, but we're going to start there. 3, adjust your aperture to the lowest setting possible. Now this varies depending on the lens that you have on your camera. And the reason I want you to go as low as possible is because it gives you that really nice blurry background, and it's nice when you're getting started out. In other instances, we're not gonna do that, but for the sake of just getting started, we will. 4, set your ISO to 400. For me, that's just a really good middle ground to begin with. If you go too high with ISO, you're gonna get a lot of grain. Going lower isn't a big deal, but 400 will be a safe number to stay at. 5, I want you to look through your viewfinder, point at your subject, and see what the exposure is. You can either do this by taking a photo and seeing how bright or dark the image looks, or by looking at the meter within your viewfinder. If the number is too far to the right or too far to the left, it's going to give you an indication of how under or overexposed your image is. You're going to want the meter in your viewfinder to be very close to the center or a little bit underexposed. Okay, so you've got your settings where you want them to be to start with, but I'm gonna guess that your photo is either too bright or too dark for your subject. So let's talk about how to make some adjustments. First, is your photo too bright? What I want you to do is lower your ISO from 400 as low as 100. What you can also do is raise your shutter speed. The sky is really the limit here, so don't feel like you can't raise your shutter speed too far. You can go as far as you want and nothing bad is going to happen. You're just gonna have a properly exposed image. Is your photo too dark? Well, the first thing you can do is raise your ISO. But remember, the higher you raise your ISO, the more grain you're gonna have in your photo. So consider that as you raise it. I wouldn't recommend going too far above 3200, but you know, it's your photo. You can do what you want. Now, is your photo still too dark? Well, my recommendation for you is to go somewhere brighter. So that might mean going closer to a window or going outside, a simple solution. If you can't do that, just turn on the lights and make it brighter in the room that you're in. Or if you're lucky, you have a flash, but talking about flash is for another video. So quick lighting tip for you, you want to make sure that your light source is either behind or beside you so that it is falling onto your subject. You don't want it to be behind your subject for this as we are starting out. We're trying to keep things simple. There you have it, that's my DSLR Quick Start. So hopefully you out there with your DSLR that's been collecting dust or you've been intimidated by it have been able to take these basic principles and apply them and adjust your camera as needed so that you can start taking pictures, because that's where you got it, right? Or someone got it for you. However it came into your life, you want to use it. So hopefully this helps you get there. Just remember, learning these things and making adjustments takes time. Understanding what is too bright or too dark of an exposure can be hard, and so be patient with yourself, because photography is a skill. As much as it can feel like you just pick up a fancy camera, take pictures, and immediately have something awesome, that's not always the case. I just want you to be patient as you learn to make these adjustments, as your eye adjusts, and overall you develop this very fun, usable skill that is photography. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you liked this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe if you like my channel. Have a great day.